Good start, Coach, but another wild one. That's 3 straight games, though. But
Yeah.
The key is you found a way to win, and that's all that counts.
It is. I mean, it's a gutsy win, coming off a long road trip. A lot of elements play a factor, but they've been playing well. Washington's been playing well. They play hard. They play together, and we gave them some life. And once you give a team life, now their confidence is high, and we had to grind to get this win, but we'll take it.
When you get into a situation like that and it starts going back and forth and you start leaning on your main guys, and Zion and CJ and Brandon just made some big shots down the stretch, and that's kind of what we've come to expect during this first stretch of the year.
We do expect it. We expect those guys to carry us and close out games when they have to. But I thought our second unit, that small group that we went with, they were huge. Defensively, switching screens, being aggressive, the physicality that they brought. They're playing fast, getting stops. And I thought the game in the second half, they had the momentum, and then it shifted back to us once that group touched the floor. And then we went to our guys down the stretch and they closed it out. So, like I said, it's a gutsy win. We made it a little bit, probably more difficult than it needed to be. But at this time of year, you just continue to stack wins.
To that point, how much do you need Jose Alvarado's energy tonight?
We need it every night. And tonight he came in right away, and you can feel his energy. And that's what he does for our team. And he had a huge game for us.
When you know you have like 8 days off and you're 50-something games into the season, is it hard mentally to, like, I guess, be present and be locked in as you want to be?
Say that again?
Like when you have when you know you're going to have 8 days off, like how hard is it to just be, I guess, locked in mentally as you'd like to be?
It can be challenging, but it's why we're professionals, and it's what you're here to do. I think there were a few elements that played a role in sort of our lapse this game. We're coming off being away for 7 to 8 days, playing 4 games on the road. Our first game at home, that first game is always a little tiring. And we got off to a great start, didn't finish the second quarter well, and all those elements play a role in it. We're 1 game away from the break. We're playing against a team that we talked about it. You have to respect them, no matter their record. And credit to our guys in the locker room is, maybe it should have been a higher scoring game or further apart as far as the score, but they got the win, and that's what counts.
And you mentioned that the most important thing is getting the win at the end of the day, but just when you look at this game, not just this game, but throughout the season, kind of the ups and downs, the inconsistency, just what's your feel on kind of where that comes from for this team, and how it just kind of shifts, from quarter to quarter?
Well, I think we're learning to grow with each other. This group is still pretty young in terms of BI, CJ, Z, especially our starters being on the floor together for this long in the season. So, along the way, we're starting to figure it out, but I think that plays a role in some of the inconsistencies that we'll see from time to time, and we just have to stay committed to working the kinks out.
And we've heard you talk about this before, kind of that coming back from the All-Star break, that sprint towards the playoffs, just the importance of your star players kind of setting that tone for when, the games really start having that playoff feel. How important is that going to be for you guys? The 3 guys you mentioned, CJ, Zion, and B.I., being those tone setters, once that playoff vibe really kicks in.
It's going to be extremely important for us when we get back. That's the stretch run, and as we progress with those games, it's going to have playoff-like atmospheres, especially with teams that are trying to position themselves for playoff, play-in, what have you. But those games are tough down the stretch, and those guys are going to have to set the tone, especially starting on the defensive end. And when they do that, the offense, it is what it is. They can score on anybody, but it's the defensive end that we really have to focus on.
And just in general, just what do you like about where you guys are right now going into All-Star break, and where do you feel like y'all need to improve the most?
I like where we are in terms of we've been able to carve out wins and put ourselves in a solid position as far as the standings is concerned. We're figuring it out as we go with our starting group. And, the improvement is that we want to continue to be elite on both ends of the floor. And it starts with our defense. So coming back, the focus is against these top teams, we have to have a defensive presence. We have to continue to share the ball, which we've done, finish possessions with rebounds defensively and shoot open shots, which we did tonight.
And Willie, to Will's point, last year at the All-Star break, I think you guys were 30-29. This year, you're 11 games over 500. What kind of sense of accomplishment is that? I know you haven't won anything, but how do you view it in those terms?
It's a step in the right direction. Each year, we're making improvements from my first year being here to last year and this year. And one of the biggest improvements for us, and I continue to say it, is that we have a healthy roster, pretty much healthy roster. Obviously, we've had some guys be out, but having the main guys healthy helps us. And we'll come back and get ready to go.
And I know Christian's already asked about Jose, but what about the shot in the arm that Naji's given you guys since he's come back from injury these last 3 games?
Naji's been really good for us. His toughness, his ability to get stops, rebound, make plays in the open floor offensively. He's knocking his shots down. He's been huge for us, especially with Dyson being out.
Coach Brandon had another 8 assists tonight. That's 7 straight games with at least 6 assists for him. Kind of talk about how he's embracing that playmaking role by getting others involved like that.
He's been fantastic in that area. When he sees 2 guys on him, he's a willing passer, and he's trusting his teammates, and that's what it's going to take for us offensively across the board. But seeing B.I. do it, the other guys kind of fall in line. All right, guys, enjoy. Thank you.